that dance. Now we're officially open. Yay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys. What's going on?
So good to see you, and thank you so much for joining us on this extra special bumper edition of On Cue Interview at Center Stage. Woohoo! Well, in the blur of what we once used to call time, okay, because it's a complete blur to me, we almost didn't realize that we had hit the significant milestone. Who would have thought that this time last year we
opened our doors for the very first time?
Absolutely. But in truth, the story starts a few good months before that. We have a lot to fit in. A year in an hour. Ambitious, I know, but we'll do our best. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Danielle Crankshaw.
And my name is Grant Crankshaw.
And we are the founders of Center Stage.
Center Stage as well.
And your hosts on Cue.
Right.
So
we're planning a quick look back at the past. We're kind of giving each show about 10 minutes, and we're going to ask you questions and show you pictures, and it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have any questions or comments for the participants, we ask that you type them into the chat or click on the raise your hand button, and if we see it, we'll ask you. Otherwise, you can keep it for Q&A afterwards. We're sort of thinking we'll let it run over an hour for a bit of an after party if people don't have anything else to do. So let's get it on.
Right.
Over a year ago, Danny and I started looking for a space to build something that we could perform in. I was thinking a wooden box and some plastic chairs. Danny had other ideas. This is a photo of us at the first site that we came to. Well, the first time that we came to our present site. That is the hall behind us. That was all that was there, a hole in the floor. And then that's when we started moving in all the stuff that we were collecting.
We built the theater in 4.5 months. We signed it in February of 2019, the lease. And I know that from February to October is 8 months, but 3 months we're taking up searching for the sewer line. So, and we kid you not, it is humbling to realize that you can't build anything until you work out where the toilets will be. Pretty shitty situation, but it wasn't for long.
So we managed to fill the space. There we have it. That's the hall completed with a Saf, God bless him, vacuuming a very large carpet that we received. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. That's a quote by Paul Coelho. And we just kept getting more and more stuff. When the universe and the angels certainly answered our call, soon we had doors, chairs, a fridge, and couches galore. We even used a lot of the junk, upcycling it into the theater to make it a really unique place. So there's the lounge and the entrance part of the theater, which used to be a lighting store. That's why it looked like someone was using a machine gun in there. But after filling all the holes and doing a little decor, according to our live-in designer, Danny, we filled all the holes, reduced the niches, and turned the place into our lounge bar. All those things are made from things we found. The chairs we also found unbelievable. And those beautiful lamps and mirrors was Danny's creation to give ourselves a little more space. The doors, the mirrors, sorry. Okay, Danny is the designer of the space. Let's keep that straight, okay? Who would have thought that she had yet another talent? Isn't that annoying? But she's determined to give the space an industrial feel and wanted to create the illusion of windows. So that's what she did there with a lot of windows from IKEA. For the life of us, we could not see that vision until we had built it. Now the doors was another find. I found them up the road. Somebody didn't want them, so I brought them back and mounted them in a frame. And then Danny got out the art kit. She had the vision, but by then we'd learned to trust and accept that she knew what she was doing. And that's what our entry doors look like. The box office, well, okay, another bizarre Danny idea. We really excelled in the upcycling here because we managed to use an old bed, if you can see it, an old desk that we cut in half, and old plumbing pipes and then the wood at the front was all found. And Danny found the paper numbers, letters. So that's our box office box.
Yep, but we had a lot of fun building our space, but we had a hard stop on the building part because we had an incredible show coming in from New York to open the theater. And the opening date was October 10th, 2019, and it was barreling towards us. So now please let me try and find everyone here and spotlight them. Let me find you all. Hang on. Let me see if I can bring in Nancy. There you are. I'm going to add
Thanks for
Ken
waving, Nancy.
and Hillary.
So we'd like to give a warm welcome to...
Wait.
Are you on invite?
There we go.
Okay.
Got to add Pen to Hillary. And where's Mindy and Ariel?
Ariel?
I don't see Ariel.
No.
I thought she was...
Mindy. Hi, Mindy. There you are. I'm going to add you to the pin.
That's great.
Is Ariel
That's
here?
great.
Ariel?
Hey, Mindy.
I don't think so. She was going to be, and
You do wave your hands if you want to. Okay.
All right.
So please give a warm welcome to Hillary, Mindy, and Nancy. We're missing Ariel.
Absolutely. The actors, collaborators, directors of this wonderful show called The Last Rat of Theresienstadt. And you're all joining us from the USA. So Nancy, you can unmute yourself and please let me know where you are actually from.
Yes, I'm actually from New York. New York
York.
City. Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm in New York. So
Excellent. And Hillary, where are you?
I'm in New York. I'm actually from New Hampshire and have been up there during a lot of this time, but I'm in New York now. I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh, cool. And Mindy?
Hi, I moved back to El Paso, Texas. So I'm in Texas.
Oh, wow. What time is it in Texas? It must be early.
10 a.m.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
No, not bad. I've got my coffee.
It's so good to see you all. I mean,
Yeah,
wow, what
thanks,
an honor it was for us to have you as our opening show. And how did it feel for you guys to open a brand new theater
It still smelt of paint.
with your show? Tell us.
It for us it was really an amazing kind of dream come true because we were already coming to Israel, but we were performing at the Akko Festival, which was incredible. But then to have learned about you from Drew, who I don't think is here, right?
No,
Yeah,
he's on a shoot. He
couldn't
sends
make
his apologies and his love.
To hear about the theater and to know that we were going to open your first season, the first English-speaking theater in Israel, was really so thrilling. And when we arrived at the theater and walked in, we were terrified. Because I don't think very many people on this call saw the theater the day before. If you saw our show, I don't think you saw the theater the day before or the day of the opening night, because it did not look ready. It was amazing. And what that crew pulled together in those hours, right, Mindy, was astounding.
Truly. And we were like, okay, maybe we should just step out and go get coffee and some food and let them do some magic. And we came back, and even in that hour we were gone, so much had been done. It was just incredible to see it.
I'm so enormously grateful that your set was a washing line.
Yeah, a washing line, and we needed a couple of chairs from you, and
It was amazing. And I've already got a comment here from Toby, who was at the show, and she said, what a fabulous show. So
It was really wonderful to perform it for you guys too, because you were our first performance to an audience who may be more Jewish than we were used to performing to. And so that was really cool, because we were like, okay, how are people going to respond to this piece, knowing that they have more of a relationship to these stories than some of the other audiences we've had before. So it was very magical to be there.
that's amazing. It's and Elizabeth Morney also says she was at the opening night and it was fabulous. So you definitely have the fans, and you
Larry
made the
was,
fans.
yeah, Larry
How-
was there, loved it too.
Yep.
Thanks,
How was the difference in audience between sort of like Israel? I mean, you said, Mindy, that it was scary for you because there were it was a different audience. It was a different I guess reactions to it. So how would you say that it was different?
Oh, I thought it was beautiful. It was very, very loving and kind. Like the audience was so warm. I think it was just the fact that this is a piece that's not typical because we had workshopped it and rehearsed it, but maybe only had 7 or 8 performances before we got to you. So it was still very fresh for us, and having it in a fresh space with the fresh paint and everything, it was still very nerve-wracking, but the audience was so warm. And I believe it was on that first night where a survivor from Terezin was in our audience.
Yep.
And just to meet him afterwards and hear what he had to say, and it was beautiful. Everyone was so warm. It was as good of an experience as I can remember.
So I have to ask, where is Puffle?
Oh, well, you probably don't want to hear this.
Oh
but
no.
Pavel is in a
See Mindy
suitcase.
going,
No, he hasn't seen the light of day since he was packed away in the winter. I've thought about taking him out and just letting him sit. He used to sit out in my apartment, and I don't know why he's not, but probably because I have put so much in the closet where he is that I have to get it all out to get to him. But Mindy, I promise I will.
Well, what a character.
He's hibernating. He's hibernating.
He's
Nancy,
hybrid.
what was your role in, we didn't get to meet you personally, what was your role in the whole Last Rat?
My role was to help create the show because I'm specialized in devised theater. So we really created this show from scratch with a lot of ideas from Hillary's background and other research that she'd done. We did an enormous amount of research, and we had these residencies for a whole week, one time at the Cove Festival in Massachusetts and another time in Maine and in a barn.
Wow.
Where we just worked on created scenes and made lists. And so I was kind of the director of that, the outside eye, because I
Fantastic.
wasn't performing.
Well, I'm sorry we didn't get to meet you, but we certainly loved the show. It really left an indelible print on our
Excellent
hearts and our
piece.
souls.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, if anyone has questions, because I'm going to move on to the next show, because there's a lot to fit in. So let me know. But I think people have asked so far. Please stay and join us afterwards for Q&As and after parties. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to do all of this and say right.
Okay, so as soon as we finished with Last Rat, we jumped straight into the production of Bad Jews, which was set to open November 21st. We had Drew on board to direct, and we started with auditions immediately. Please welcome. Okay, Danny's going to start clicking them in now.
Okay, hold on. Slowly but surely, people. Bear with me while I do this.
Squeaking. Someone has their mic.
Drew, the director, and
He's-
Iftach, one of the stars, can't be here tonight, so they won't be here. But Danny is now clicking in to welcome Laura, Amber, Tomer,
If they're
And
here,
Rebecca.
hold on. Let me just see. Hold
if we
on.
can still find
There's
them.
Tomer. I can see you. I'm going to add the pin. Thank you. Let me see where Laura is. Where are you, Laura? Gosh, there's so many people here. There you are. Hello, my darling. Okay.
Wait.
Is Amber here? Hello. You can unmute yourself as well. I
So-
didn't speak.
Hello.
Hello. And let me bring in
While Danny's looking for the next guy.
Rebecca. Hold on.
This was the first official production from Center Stage, and boy, did you set the bar high, Rebecca. You were the producer of the show, and it was a mighty challenge. What was your most memorable experience, Rebecca?
Hi, everyone. It's good to be here. My most memorable experience, as it relates to Bad Jews. I will say Danny brought me on in August, but I was in New York when The Last Rat opened, so I only got to hear about the chaos and also the amazing opening from afar. So I think with Bad Jews, does anybody else hear funky feedback? Is it
It's a
just
cat.
me?
Yes.
There's a cat
There's a
somewhere.
cat somewhere.
There's a cat somewhere? Okay, I'm just,
Squeaking.
Cat is loose.
The mouse squeaking.
like it's squeaking. Okay, I'm just checking. My most memorable, I think, was Tech Week of Bad Jews. It was a hellish challenge.
Oh my goodness.
Drew and I are trauma bonded forever, wherever he may be right now. But we got through it, and I think that we can all say, everyone involved with Bad Jews, that we put up a truly professional production. Our first one, and it was very memorable. To be in the theater, the 10 out of 12s, and to navigate that, and to collaborate our way to making something happen.
Yeah, you were certainly a part of something
Absolutely.
very, very special, and we are so thankful for your guidance and for your production experience.
And I've still got the windows if anyone wants to.
So I'm going to turn to the actors now and say, I'd love to hear from Laura and Tomer. What was your most favorable moment in the play or in the production itself? Laura, you go first.
Oh no.
Put me on the spot. No.
There are just so many fun, playful moments for me. The production itself, I think the most memorable one for me is like coming on the day where we had like a couch and we had like a kitchen table sort of thing and a dresser and a doorway. And it was like, yeah, it was so magical to really just fill that space with even more life and to really, it was like, here's the apartment, here we are. And it just really brought it to life for us, and it kind of like allowed us to step up into it.
Amazing.
In terms of the show itself, wow, I think, and also the production itself, I think choreographing the fighting at the end was really fun, because it was kind of silly, but it was also like, okay, but it like technical, but how do I get to where I'm choking her? Like very, very serious, but very safe. And the things, it was so fun.
Choker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. I mean, no, you did an incredible job. Honestly, it was amazing to watch you night after night, and it was a true pleasure. And Tomer, your character was such a complex character and such an intricate character, and you just played him so well.
Thank you.
What was your favorite part?
Well, for me, it's just everything come together. Singing it on the, what's going on?
I think there's a child in the background of someone. If you can all, I'm just going to repeat, if you can all mute yourselves until you're
Yeah, I think it's Yitzhak specifically who
Yitzhak
Here we
specifically.
go. Let's
needs to be muted.
We'll just mute you. It's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. No worries.
thanks.
Sorry, Tomer, to interrupt. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah.
Together.
Again, as I said, yeah, everything come together. Seeing it with lights and even with the audience and the feeling of that, and we had this thing with the number at the end and it coming together and seeing it, and it was strong. So I love that.
Very strong theatre. So proud to have you guys as our first official center stage production. What are you doing now? Are you working? I know it's tough out there, and we know, but are you?
I just I sent an audition today. I recorded one from home, and that's about it.
Break it out.
How about you, Laura?
I've in terms of theater, not very much.
Yes.
What?
No, I know. We feel for you. We do.
I'm writing a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that's good.
Excellent.
So you're going to need to talk to us at some stage. Please, God.
Right.
Absolutely.
The stage is awfully lonely at the moment. When you go there during the day, it's just this dark, quiet little room. And I go in there and just stand there every now and then. It's quite eerie, but it still resonates with everything that's happened there.
Absolutely. I mean, we were open for 4 months, guys, out of this year, and those 4 months were amazing. So thank you again for being our opening act. I'm going to go on to the next one. Please stay behind
Yes.
afterwards and we can chat and talk. But I'm going to go on to the Rapture Bliss to Burn, which was
Okay.
our second.
Yeah. Rapture Bliss to Burn was a Pulitzer Prize finalist. We wanted a play written by a female playwright and one that would give a voice to the female experience. So while Danny hooks up the cast,
Okay, let me find
we'd like to welcome Sandy, who's in.
Sandy, who's in. Ran, there you
Ran.
are. Let me add you to the pen. And this is all, you know, if you were, oh no, what happened there? Damn.
What happened?
That went, all my pinning was for naught.
Well, while Danny's pinning the actresses, we're welcoming Noah, Ayala, Rand, Sandy, Vanessa, and Ruby, the directors.
There's Noah.
The actors and, Vanessa, stage manager, Ruby was the director.
Let me see. I know that Sarah couldn't be here today. Who am I missing, guys? Please wave to me from anyone else who's here. Sandy,
Did Vanessa make it?
Ran.
Wave, Vanessa, wave. I don't think she made it. No.
No? Okay. Is
When
that
I
it?
first saw this show in dress rehearsal, I wasn't quite sure what it was about. And then I watched each of the performances,
Let
and
me
by the
share
end of
this
it,
with
I
you.
wanted to see where else you would take it. And it was impressive. You
Yeah,
guys
here's
did a great job
some,
with that.
pictures from
Yeah.
Rapture Bliss to
Here
Burn
we
just
go.
to remember the incredible cast. Sandy, I'm not seeing you up here. Let me pin you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Did
There
you
you are.
guys have any ritual as a cast before the show?
What's the question?
A ritual. Come on, spill it. We know.
Fast forwards of the
Oh,
whole
right.
play,
We did.
which was pretty complex for that play.
You did what? I'm sorry, Ren. I didn't hear
Fast
you.
forwards. We did a fast run of the play.
The fast run of the play?
Yeah.
Which was
Okay.
pretty complex for that kind of a play. The length and the heavy monologues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you had.
And we had the fucking, and then we chose one of the character names, like fucking Gwen, man.
All right.
And,
Oh,
we did
yeah.
that for each
Yeah.
and every character before a show. It was like, fucking Dawn, man. All right.
There's a lot in the
Dawn.
play, guys, just in case you were like.
Noah, what's your mouth?
Sorry.
No cursing.
It's all good. It's all good. It's part of theater life. So it was really not an easy play in so many respects. What did you find the most challenging? I'd love for each of you to
Apart
answer.
from the text.
Apart from the text. No, you were going to answer that.
Oh, no, but that was my answer. The text was very challenging. And the time.
And the time.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the moment that I enjoyed the most was the first time we did a run through without calling line. I think it was the first show.
I think it was the first show too. Yeah, we were. I remember those days. What about you, Ren? What is your most memorable?
I remember not wanting to do it. And, well, wait. Let me finish. I was
Okay.
reading the play, and I said, I just arrived from New York after 6 years, and I was telling myself, I don't want to jump into a play. I don't want to do a play. I don't want to do anything. And I was reading the play, and as I kept reading it, I just felt it was so good that I can't say no to this opportunity. Though you stumble to that kind of a writing once in a lifetime, I guess. I don't know, for most actors, and this is a testament for you, Daniela, for choosing so really good material.
Thank you.
And I guess the challenge was, it was a play of talking heads. That's what it was. And how do you make that interesting? I mean, the text was interesting, but how do you make that interesting for an audience?
Well, I think you managed it.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It
you
was,
did.
listen, the one thing I'm really proud of is that, you know, both plays, the way we marketed it was because we had a limited marketing budget, we relied on word of mouth and for it to build momentum. And by the end of both shows, both Bad Jews and Rapture Blister Burn, we had sold out evenings, guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, people wouldn't say, go see it, it's good, if it wasn't. You know, all I can say, it was amazing. But Sandy, what about you? You were like the comic, you and Sarah were both sort of the comic relief in that
Yeah, well, I
show.
just, my whole role in this play was making martinis for everybody and hustling in and off stage. But if, looking back, I think my favorite memory from this show is watching it grow from a kind of overwhelming script. A lot of this play is just a classroom scene, a lot of lecturing.
Yeah.
And watching the characters blossom within that was great, especially Sarah, who's not here, who made the most brilliant, obnoxious stoner. I just loved working with her. I loved working with everybody. It was a lot of fun.
That's great. That's great. And what are you all doing now? Are you, Noah, I know that you're doing some filming and that's going quite well for you. So kudos to you for that.
Yeah.
And what about the rest of you guys? What's
I
happening?
have a series that just premiered on FX and Hulu.
Wow.
It's called Wilderness of Air, directed by Mark Smerling, who was nominated for an Emmy for The Jinx, produced by Blumhouse. And we got some good reviews. And aside from that, I'm doing my day job at the satellite communication field.
Oh boy,
What a job.
We've all had to step back into sort of shoes that we don't really want to go into,
Yeah.
but unfortunately the situation is such that we have to do whatever we can to survive. But I'm so pleased to hear about that series for you, Ran. Amazing. And
Thank you.
we'd go from strength to strength. Sandy, what about you? Are you singing? Are you acting? What are
Yeah,
you
I mean,
doing?
just about the time that Rapture Blister Burn ended was I just put out. I write songs. I just completed a new CD, just in time to send it out to radio. And I'm not running around performing. I'm not touring because nobody tours these days.
Sure.
But it gave me lots of time at home to work on marketing to get more airplay, and it's done pretty well.
That's
Well
excellent.
done.
That is excellent. Just guys, from strength to strength, thank you so much for being such an incredible part of the Center Stage family. And please stay with us afterwards to chat. We'd really, really love that.
Okay.
So now we're going on to some, and love you too. We're going on to some outside productions that we did because hang on, where am I?
One of the first outside productions that we had was Knick Knack Nook. And
Nitzan Sitzo did an amazing job, and he couldn't be here. He had a family emergency. So we wish him well and hope that everything is okay. But I'm going to bring in
Elad
Shiponi, if I may.
Elad is the wandering Israeli.
Yep, and we've had him here, and I'm going to bring in Lenny. Where's Lenny? I saw you in. Lenny, can you open your camera and unmute, Lenny?
Yes, hi, how you doing?
Good, how are
Hi.
you?
All right, great. Everybody great.
Lenny did a show with us.
That's good. Hi, Elad.
I just see Lenny and
Hi,
I smile.
Danielle. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Absolutely.
Hi.
So,
Lenny did
Hi,
a show
Benji.
called
Benji,
Dance.
love you.
Lenny, shush.
You want me to shut up? Okay.
That's okay.
Lenny's here.
Lenny's here. We should have known. It's okay. It's all good.
Lenny's show, Don't Dance Life, Don't Drag It.
Absolutely.
It was great.
An
Lenny.
optimism lecture, brilliant, had us in fits of laughter. We had Elad Shiponi with the Wandering in Israeli, who has been with us on other little projects around. We had the performance lecture by Yael Schur for The Sound of Goose Steps. We had an incredible lecture series by Dr. Isabel Berman on political satire.
Big thank you and hats off to Isabel for that one.
Absolutely. And we even managed to sneak in our comedy show Together Against the Odds. So you guys are representative of the outside shows. Elad, are you continuing with the with your show online? Still doing that?
Yeah, I mean, it took a few months to kind of figure out how to do it in a way that would be, you know, that the crowd could accept it. You know, it's not easy to take something from the stage and then try to duplicate it onto Zoom.
Fit it on a little screen.
What's that?
Fit it onto a little screen.
Yeah. And you were there. You saw one of my first attempts.
It was great. It was
and
great.
yeah, actually, it's been. I mean, I just have to market it more. It's actually, you know, it's quite a good product, but I don't enjoy it that much. So I'm finding it hard to market it.
Without the audience, you don't enjoy it.
I mean, the challenge of bringing it to Zoom was a big challenge. I was very engaged with it, but once, I mean, I set up my whole, you saw me performing it at the Kibbutz pub, which was cool, but it involved a lot of moving stuff around. And now I have a home studio here in this room where I'm at, and I have lights and a green screen when I put it up, and sound and everything. And it works great, and I can do it on my own, even without the musician that performs with me. But then marketing it is always one of the biggest problems. It's not that I don't know how, it's just that I don't have that, something's missing.
I understand you completely. Listen, I think you're one of the few people that I know who has managed to do online shows and get the audience, and I take my hat off to you for that.
Keeping up the momentum.
Keeping up the momentum. And I know it's hard, and I know it's challenging, but you know, Elizabeth's saying here, well, first of all, she said, I loved Against All Odds. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And she says, and Elad's show, so you can take so, you know, it's hard, it's not easy, and keep it up, keep doing it, because one day we are going to be coming out. I'm going to go on to Lenny now quickly, and I know I'm rushing through you all, but I'm watching the clock as it's going by, and I do want to get to some people and not forget them. So Lenny, and
I like
you're on
the beard,
mute.
Elad.
Yes, the beard is looking very distinguished.
Yeah.
Lenny, my sweetheart, my darling, my love, how are you?
Let me count the ways. I'm doing very well. As a matter of fact, I'm very comfortable with the lockdown. You know, we received a bulletin, don't go anywhere, don't do anything. And I'm 84, so that's perfect, you know. It fits me just fine. I can deal with that. But I just now got off a Zoom with Boston. They asked me to come there and perform for a gala thing for donations and stuff. I don't
Amazing.
and I've been doing a lot of interviews, and I'm loving it, but there's no it's all just donation, you know, going in and doing it for people right now during the COVID, because as a matter of fact, I got a call from St. Petersburg in Russia, where they wanted me to teach therapists how to practice therapy with humor and laughter. And they said, how much do you want? And I said, nothing really, because COVID now, and nobody can really, you know, we all have to give to each other.
Absolutely.
And it's a time where we have to just think about the other person and where they are, and keep giving. And that's it.
Absolutely. And that's I think that's a big reason why we do the On Cue series. We've done, I mean, both Elad and Lenny have been our guests on Cue, and it's just such a fun time, and it gives you a, you know.
I also enjoyed very much acting with, was it Danielle? Hi Danielle, hi. I really, it was a lovely experience. What the name of the play was?
Hudson's Legacy.
Hudson's Legacy.
And we will talk about that as well.
Yeah, thanks for bringing
it.
I enjoyed being with. It was a wonderful experience. Thank you, Danielle, and thank you, Daniela and Grant for inviting me for that.
Of course.
And I've seen Elad's Schifoni's show maybe 10 times in Hebrew and in English, and I'm waiting for it now in Arabic.
No, he does it in
And-
Spanish, Lenny. You're going to see the Spanish version. That's also
Okay.
amazing.
Okay.
Amazing, guys. It's just such an honor for us to have such, you know what's amazing about the two of you specifically is that you are incredibly talented, but you are also the most wonderful human beings. And my heart just glows when I think of you guys. You have been so supportive and so, you know, for no reason, for no sort of gain. And it's just, I thank you for that. And I love you for that. And I appreciate that. So don't change. And here's to many more shows together and many more projects together. So thank you so much for giving you the time.
Inshallah,
Please,
inshallah.
inshallah. Please stay with us and chat a little bit later once we've gone through everybody. Thank you so much for gracing our stages and for making it so amazing. Amazing. So now,
So that was it. That was all our outside shows.
yeah, and I want to show, I made a picture, very pretty picture. So
We're going to see the picture.
we are going to see the picture. Look at all
There we
that.
go.
Isn't it amazing? So that's what we did. And then, you know,
Towards the end of February 2020, we could already start to feel a change in the air. We had an incredible show coming in from New York called Love Goddess, the Rita Hayworth story, which we were very excited about. And we were speaking to several artists around the world who had shows they wanted to bring to our theatre. But then the world slowly shut down. Theatres were closed very quickly and we went into our first lockdown.
but
That did not stop us.
no, that
No,
didn't stop
we
us.
pushed on.
We did, and
We
I'm
shall
going to
fight
bring
them on the
Rebecca
beaches.
back if I may, because she was very instrumental in. Rebecca, there you are. Such a beautiful
Hello.
lady. I love that. So I'm going to unpin you guys.
Sorry, guys.
And Rebecca,
Been unpinned.
my beautiful lady. You know, when we went into lockdown, we sort of thought about how we're going to stay connected with our community. It was very, very important to us. And you and Ruby and I came up with the idea of this 5-minute play festival. Do you want to fill us in on how we did that and why we did that? And
I can't say I remember all the details.
It's a good thing. It's a
I
good
remember why we did that. Why did we do that is because we wanted to experiment with producing online. And, you know, it's been 7, almost 8 months now of everybody having everything online. So if you all remember back, it wasn't so obvious at first, you know, how this was going to look, or what was going to happen for theater, right? Because once you put theater on a screen, is it even theater anymore? I'm not sure. So we thought, okay, what is something that we can do that can have a variety of actors and a variety of writers and a simple format that we can simply produce technically, and the 5-minute play festival, you know, on book where people were reading was the answer. And I think like we did it twice, right?
we did do it twice. The first time we sort of like put out the word, and we got about, I think, eight productions or 9 productions that were sent to us, and we did them. And then the second time we did it, we got over 80 people writing. Remember reading all those scripts, Rebecca?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we were reading, you know, this was also like early in the pandemic. I think now people are struggling more with like, I'm reading a lot about people struggling with pandemic fatigue, being online, coming to things like this, like we're choosier, you know, but that was still in the beginning. So I think I remember we had like great numbers on social media in terms of our reach and how many people were actually watching this content. So
right.
I think it was
days from I remember from New Zealand and Australia and Italy and the Netherlands and America, and it was just incredible. So and we got some really good plays, and the one that Lenny mentioned that he was in with was the play Hudson's Legacy with Danny Fatelson, and that actually took an interesting turn. And Rebecca, I hope hopefully when things are back, we are going to I don't know, do
Yay.
things that are amazing, and I'm hoping that
Yeah.
you'll still be around to
I hope
stay
I'm
with
around
us.
too.
So thanks for answering us on the
Great.
5-minute
Of course.
play.
Of course.
And I think that we are going to go on to what that 5-minute play really sort of
Propelled us
into. And I'm going to bring Danny in here. Hey, Danny. The Danny squared.
Hello.
So you did this we'd met before. We'd met over coffee, and we said we were going to work together, and then we did this 5-minute play where you had this incredible script called Hudson's Legacy, and we paired you with the incredible Lely Ravitch, and it was, to me, it was the best play. It was amazing. It was just because it was just so well written, and it was a complete play in 5 minutes. And you guys were amazing.
I'm not sure if I should try at this point to explain to those who maybe didn't hear the reading. The play is very short. It's about a granddaughter attempting to adjust history to suit her child.
That's it. And it's on our YouTube channel. You can see it there. But what I want to talk about is this whole connection with you, Danny, led us to some incredible things, because despite the lockdown, we really managed to extend our reach into the US, and you were a pivotal person. A pin. You were a pin. No.
A pin or a pain?
No, never a pain. You were really pivotal in getting us, through that. And it was because you were involved with JPP. Why don't you just tell us the story of basically how you managed to merge the two together?
Sure. Yeah. So I had done some work with the Jewish Plays Project in New York, like 10 years ago, on this, like a reading committee, and then you read and stuff, whatever. They're in search of, naming the best new Jewish play every year. And it's, they support people writing with Jewish themes that are relevant to today's Jewish life experience, and not just like the Holocaust play. Because I think that's what most people think of. So I'd done some work with them. I reached out to David after a few months of living here and said, I'm here, I'm looking to get involved with English speaking theater. There's not a whole lot from what I can see. And do you guys have like a reading chapter or committee or something out here? And he said, no, actually we don't. We don't have any connection with any community in Israel. And I said, would you like one? And he said, sure. So I pulled together some people I knew and word of mouth, a reading committee, and we had met. And then I did the 5-minute plays with you guys. And so I facilitated this whole reading group to read through a ton of plays that they then, kind of whittled down to the top 7. And what they usually do in each of the cities that have a Jewish community that will read these plays and help narrow it down to like the top 3 is they'll have a live, performance of 20-30-minute excerpts from that group's favorite 3 plays. And this had all gone virtual. And by then, it was like May at some time, I was like, I don't know how I can just sit on the couch anymore and like watch everybody in their living rooms do the theater stuff.
Well, I think
I brought it
to, if I'm not mistaken, is they actually filmed the excerpts. They did a Zoom filming of the excerpt, and we kind of decided, no, we want to do something different. So all the audiences in the States would watch the videos and vote on the videos. And we said, no, we don't want videos. We want to make it more exciting.
Right. And so I went to Grant and Danny and said, you guys have this big, beautiful theater. We should get you exposure and links over there. We should utilize it. It's so much more meaningful, not only to do it in a theater, but to see it in a theater, because people who, love that. It's like, we miss being in and seeing the theater. So we managed to do this whole event virtually, and we had a few people in the audience at that time. And it was such a big success and such a cool thing to be able to do all together.
I'm going to share some pictures again because, you know, so here we go, the Jewish Playwriting Contest. And this is, whoops, us at the theater doing the plays. And, you know, as you can see, we turned the theater into a studio. We had everyone reading the play because it is a reading.
The audience that you see there is the cast of the other play.
Yes, there were 3 plays that we had to do.
3 plays,
and then we were Zooming live to our audiences both here and abroad, and who got to vote on the play that they loved the most. What was interesting with that is that one of the people in watching this was none other than Wayne Firestone from the American Israel Friendship League, or I don't know if it was him or his wife. And I'm very grateful for either of them, both of them, one of them watching it, because that led to us being invited to a event that the America Israel Friendship League do pretty much sort of every week.
I think every week, and they have a different topic. It's to keep their community and to keep their community engaged online during this time.
Absolutely. And what was marvelous is that Center Stage really got a lot of exposure because we presented the winning play from the Jewish Playwriting Contest, which was Refuge Malja with Guy and Omer, and Andy was also in it. Yeah. And you and I and Omer were on a panel where we were invited to have a discussion with Wayne to speak about it. And we also saw Hudson's Legacy, which we also showed to them with Lenny and yourself. And that was amazing. The response was outstanding. So that really kind of, and then we sort of decided, let's keep the momentum going. Yeah. Right, Danny? And then we went into saying, okay, let's take the 5-minute play and add a twist to it. So that was the America Israel Friendship League, where they presented also a play from their side, which was amazing. So, and that's us in the studio. That's Danny, Omer, and myself in conversation with the US.
Yeah, the US.
And then this is the 48-hour 5-minute play contest that we did right after. It was the last thing we really did at the theater. So that had a twist on it. What was the twist, Danny?
So we wanted to, we didn't just want to send off a bunch of actors to write and, you know, rehearse and produce plays in 48 hours because that's done. So to keep our audience engaged and involved, we asked the community to submit some random answers to a few questions, like a name, a prop, a location, and 2 other ones I'm forgetting.
Very good.
But we got a whole variety of fun answers, and Danny and I just basically picked out of a hat and then gave both of our groups a different selection of these 5 things that very random things that they had to incorporate in their plays, and they did a phenomenal job. It was so interesting to see those suggestions like be incorporated and work and be funny and smart and witty, and it was really fun to, you know, orchestrate.
Absolutely. So here's to many more. So thank you, Danny.
I can't wait to do that again.
Really hope that we're going to please stay behind for whatever afterwards, for chats and you know, cheers. Absolutely. Here we go. So we're all drinking tonight. It's a celebration. So I can't believe we actually really made it through a whole year in an hour, guys. This year also saw the birth, obviously, of On Cue. Yeah. Which is this interview segment that we created to spotlight local artists who are contributing to English language culture in Israel. We had wonderful guests, including Benji Lovett, and Elad, as we said, and Lenny, Ronen Tveria, and Jacqueline. And so we've had singers and actors and comedians and directors. So we're, you know, everyone who's been involved in Center Stage. We're hoping that we'll get you into the next On Cue. We have 2 guests every night. Tonight was an exception, of course, but it was what we're hoping at the end of the day is with On Cue to continue it as a weekly meeting, and we hope to take it to the theater. And have it as a live show with a live studio audience where we'll have questions and answers. So I just want to say before we end, a very, very special thank you to all our special guests who came from far and wide to be with us today to reminisce on the 4 short months that we were open and commiserate with the 8 months that we've been closed.
Thank you for creating the magic at that space that continues. It continues to glow, like I said. So we'll get it going.
Absolutely. And we hope that the next celebration will be at the theater and you'll all be there. And here's to so many more productions and workshops and lectures. And thank you. Stick around for the after party. And thank you all so much. And we'll see you all next year. I want to actually look at some of these questions here. Mindy says, thank you, Crankshaws, for being so kind and generous and creative. Thank you so much, Mindy. We look forward to many more. Love you guys, Tessa. Toby, kolakavod that you're staying involved and engaging others. Absolutely, that is our mission, is to stay connected, to keep you involved, keep doing these things. Thanks, Benji. People just writing here, unmute yourselves, guys. Start talking, mixing with the wonderful people who
I just wanted to say something that Danny and Grant left out because they have a lot of humility, but they did something really special for my husband. Really, right before the pandemic, was my husband Shimon's father's, I think, 20-year yurtzeit, and he passed from lung cancer, and they let us use their space to host a benefit concert that we brought in. We packed the place before COVID. This was before COVID. We packed the place, and they so graciously let us do that and raise a good chunk of money for lung cancer research. So I just want to say a personal thank you for doing a mitzvah like that. And I know we couldn't know what was coming, and I'm sure that karma will come around soon.
Thank you, darling. And thank you to you for everything that you did, the efforts that you put in, and your amazing talent. And please, God, we'll be able to, get on our feet again and
Amen.
Absolutely. And just
thank you, everybody. I have to go.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much for all your support.
Bye.
Thank you. Please stay if you want and chat. Thank you again so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Guys, I don't think it's commiserating for the last 8 months at all.
I know.
I think what you guys have managed to do even virtually is, like, I know for me has given me so much joy and community and like artistry and creativity. It's our work together has been such a highlight for me, and I know I'm not the only one who was involved in a big way or a small way. So I think those 8 months and until this is out is something to celebrate, not to commiserate.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And we'll do so much more together, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I have to agree with Danny. There's an Eskimo saying that in winter the lazy man freezes to death.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you guys are not lazy, and you're not gonna freeze. I can tell you that right now.
Thanks, Shmuel.
Shmuel, and you know what we forgot to say as well is, Shmuel, that you got the chance to also be at Center Stage. You played in All My Sons, and we had a show there of All My Sons. So thank you so much for coming and being this part of it. I just felt that All My Sons was a little kind of a separate thing, but you were on our stages too, and that's amazing. And thank you so much for
Honored to work with you.
Thank you. And hopefully next, who knows, when schools go back,
we'll do it
sometime.
again. Yet again.
We shall do it again.
I've been keeping pretty busy myself as well.
No, we've
seen it, Shmuel. Well done. It's amazing how people are reinventing themselves and doing things and doing things online. So keep on doing it. The Last Ride is having a mini performance next week, according to Mindy. So Mindy, send us some information. I'd be happy to share it with our people. So
yeah, the university here. The university here got a huge grant from a Holocaust survivor, and they're naming the new studio, which is very similar to your studio, and I'm going to be the first performance. So we were the first performance in your space, and now I'm going to be the first performance in this space. Full circle.
That's so good. That's amazing. I was going to say, are you guys? I know that Broadway is shut and through May 2021, which is crazy. Are you getting chances to perform? Are you performing? Is there some sort of safe way that you guys are performing?
So in relocating to Texas, gave myself the ability to do more performance because we have space out here. I've been doing audio work, and then I got the permission from Hillary to take 15 minutes of the piece without her and without Pavel and kind of make it something new. So there are opportunities to perform here, but we're just taking it day by day because, you know, this country has not done a very good job. So we're doing the best we can.
Yes, we have those issues here as well. We're
be careful and stay safe.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
I want to throw in my little top
Larry, how are you? Let me bring you
darling,
up
fine.
here. It's so
Good.
lovely to see you.
I just want to say to everybody, most of you probably don't know me. Some of you do. I see Lydia down there. Hi, Lydia. I've known Danny and Grant for longer than I care to remember.
This is not a roast, Larry.
Much longer than that. And since Danny came to Israel, how long ago, Danny? 25?
23 years.
20-something years ago. Yep.
20 years ago. And she started nudging with this dream way back then. And I've watched her, and I've watched Grant developing this and building it and building it and building it, all the frustrations. And suddenly last year they said, we're up. And I said, we're in. Our contribution, we're buying tickets. We came to see the first show last rack.
Thank you.
We brought cousins from Australia with us who were here at the time. But I've seen how these guys just get in, and it just proves the saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And they did through all the ups and downs, Danny, and I know, you lost your dad during that time, and he was a dear friend. And I just sit back, Marlon and I sit back in awe, and we say, wow, these guys are really making it happen, even in this incredibly difficult period.
I'd like to add that you mentioned Danny's father. I think he's been quite deeply involved in what's happened.
Absolutely. He's
From
one of
the
those
great
angels.
beyond.
Always, bro.
Can you imagine him not being involved, Larry? I mean, really.
Definitely not. Always had something to say.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for those kind words, Larry. That really touches my heart and means a lot to me. So I appreciate it.
I'd like to add to that, to what Larry said and Danielle said before. I mean, you during these times when the shit hit the fan, for all of us, all this creative energy is something that we get from people who are around us, and we have people around us. That's why I think that during these times we've become closer, is because I want to be around you, because you create inspiration for me to do what I do. And you opened your theater a year ago, and the most terrible things happened to the theater-wise, and you still kept going, and you're still going, and you know that you're going to get through it. And for us, I think that people around us, all the people who are artists now, need people like you to connect with and to get the energy to do what we do. So you may not be showcasing it in your theaters, but what you're doing is helping us showcase our things outside your theater. So that is a big thank you to you, and keep doing it and keep going and moving forward.
Well,
thanks a lot.
I don't know if you know, there's a technique when you're cycling long distance that you take the hand of the other rider.
The handle.
No, you take his hand.
Oh, his hand.
You each ride with one opposite hand, and then you pull him past you, and then he pulls you past him, and you begin to generate a momentum of speed. That's why we came to see you at 4 o'clock in the morning on your kibbutz.
Absolutely. I hope we keep pulling each other, everyone here.
Absolutely.
I just want to keep pulling everybody because, you know, it may sound really cliched but the arts are so important and they're so an important part of life because life is so gray without theater and paintings and books and music, and it's what inspires us and what makes us become better people. And I'm not willing for one to put it aside and say, oh well, you know. And I feel like that's what the government has done, and I do, and I feel that that's, you know, a lot of governments have done that. I understand the reason for the closures, and I understand the reason why theatre cannot go back, but we can go back in safe ways and do things. But
Absolutely.
you know, they tend to say, well, it's not important. The art is not what's kind of the most. And they don't realize that art, the creativity is what built the startup nation. It would not be the startup nation without that creative thinking.
Yeah.
And children need to be exposed to that. And I kind of wonder, you know, where we're going. And I feel for these kids who are.
Cheers, everybody.
Anyway, let's end on a happy note, guys. Let's say next year, please God, we'll be celebrating our 2nd anniversary in the theater with all of you live.
Even in Pumpin.
Absolutely. And just may you keep coming and may you keep being and the wonderful people that you are, and for your support, we thank you. We miss you, as I keep saying. We can't wait to get back. So thank you. Cheers.
I think you should be planning your Hanukkah party in the theatre. Or your
Okay. Our Hanukkah party in the theatre. That is very
With a long table.
That's ambitious.
I'm very optimistic. You know, that's my message from up high.
From your lips,
okay.
Natalie.
Thank
you know,
you,
if
Natalie.
you've got a direct call, you know, connection with him up there.
I am the highest point in Harish, so you know, like that's my.
Hope you have a lightning mast.
And that, isn't it so wonderful that you know, the one thing, you know, maybe we can think of is there's so much potential to reach beyond the borders. We're not waiting for people to come to the theater, but they're joining us from Harish, from the USA, from Haifa.
I think the challenge is eventually going to be how to get you back to the place, because it's such a schlep. To get dressed, bath, get in the car, drive, park.
Let me just remind you all the live experience. That's what it's all about, people. The live experience. Guys, it's been marvelous to spend this time with you. I love you all dearly. I keep looking at all of you. There's Gershom. And it is thank you so much for faithfully coming back. Sandy, so beautiful to see you. Such a beautiful lady. Sandy Lee, I'm talking to you. Yeah, don't me. Yes, you.
There was another Sandy here.
There was another Sandy here. I don't know if she's still
deleted
here.
her.
No, we didn't.
I'm not used to seeing Sandy in civvies.
There we go. Cheerily. I love it. Keep on doing the great work that you're doing, Sandy and Cheerily. Amazing stuff that you're doing, really helping people in and well your comedy. So
yeah.
That's great. What are you guys doing? Come on, guys, speak to me. I don't want to speak all this on my own all this time. Come on.
You mentioned Sandy. Sandy and I and many other people are doing medical clowning online through Zoom, and we're recording things and live things with kids, with needs, without needs. Sandy is very active. Unbelievable.
Well, sorry, who's talking?
Me.
Hello, Toby.
Hi. Our group Raise Your Spirits, we're having, I can't call them typical rehearsals, but we have these meetups every week where we're progressing in our next musical, where we send out to whoever is supposed to be singing a certain song, we send out in advance the lyrics and the music and the harmonies They record on their phone, send it back to our music director. She mixes it in her little home studio and showcases it. And I just want to share with you something very beautiful that happened last week, because our show is called Rebecca, Mother of Two Dynasties. And I wrote a song about how when Yitzchak and Rivka go into Sarah's tent, and there's a midrash there, that that when Sarah was alive, there was blessing in the dough and the candles lit from Erev Shabbat to Erev Shabbat and God's presence over the tent. So I invited the cast, something that I probably wouldn't do in a regular rehearsal. But because we have these special meetups where it's only on Zoom, I said, does anyone have a special story about Shabbat or Challah or Hashem's presence? And one of the women in our cast ranges in age from 10 to 70 plus.
Oh, wow.
One of the women in our cast was 50 years ago was on the TWA plane that was hijacked. And she described, when I invited candles, stories about lighting Shabbat candles, she described how they were on that plane, still stuck on that plane on Shabbat. And of course, they couldn't light candles, and they didn't even have candles. They didn't expect to be there. So somebody found matches, and a woman lit 2 matches and held them up. And everybody said the blessing on Shabbat candles.
Amazing. What an amazing story.
So that's what we're doing. Every week we get together on Zoom, and we just keep going however we can.
Amazing, Toby. Well done. Keep from strength to strength. Honestly, keep doing it. Keep going. That's the kind of spirit we need here.
Thank you. And you're an inspiration, what you guys are doing. So.
Thank you so much, Toby. Appreciate that. Thank you.
I have to hang up. Before I do, I just want to say to Danielle and Grant, thank you guys for being good people. The last time I came up, it was so much fun to see you.
Yeah.
And I would love to see you more. And I just have to say, the Crankshaws are not just good people. They're good artists and performers. I cannot believe they've committed to these fake South African accents for as long as I've known them. They are Americans. Daniela is from Savannah, Georgia. Daniela, please tell us your real accent. We want to hear your real accent. Enough of the South African.
Oh, Benji, I can't believe you did that to me. You outed me. That's not fair.
Every time we do All My Sons, that's the accent I hear. I'm telling Benji, you're right.
It just comes out, Shmuel. I can't help it. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
It's time everyone knows the truth. We loved you no matter where you're from, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Benji.
I gotta go. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for a lovely evening.
Thank you, Sandy, so much. Take care.
Here's looking forward to the next one, up to 100.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Amen and amen.
I love you guys. Cheers.
Love you so much, Noah. So good to see you. I miss you.
I miss you too. We'll have a wonderful year.
Yeah,
absolutely, we will. And we'll do things together. Gabriella, so good to see you. You've been sitting there so quietly, not saying anything. I'm going to add you for a second. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you guys?
Fine. Gabriella, just for those who've left, Gabriella was involved in our 5-minute plays, and even the last one, the 48-hour 5-minute play, in which you were in you did an amazing job with that whole car scene with the waves thing. I've never laughed so much. So, amazing. I love the talent that's here. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. And I also wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, because I've also been out of touch with like theater and stuff. I was saying to Grant when we worked on the project that I'm a drama therapist, and I've also been home with my kids for a really long time. So I've been out of theaters for a while, and it just like, even that little project, the 48-hour one, completely ignited this like passion in me, and
I love it.
I felt incredible. It was like an era of my life when I was so into theater.
Well, we just hope that we'll have you in the theater
really made me want to get back into it. So I really, amen.
That's cool.
Fantastic.
I still want to make a movie out of that 5-minute segment, by the way.
Absolutely. We'll have to do that. It was
totally. We have to film it. Mm-hmm.
We'll do
that. Maybe Danielle will direct it. What do you think?
There we go.
There you go. Danny's working up. She's like, what? Absolutely. Absolutely. Love to see you guys. Wonderful.
Good night. Take care. All the best.
Thank you so much, Larry. Take care. Wonderful to see you. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys. Love you and miss you.
Miss you, Laura. Love you.
Hope to see you soon.
Guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye, old Danny. We need to speak, by the way, just to let you know, because we have that little something on the go.
And I'll say thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Tomer.
Brilliant to see you. Thanks.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It was lovely to.
Sorry, you were saying, Tomer?
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I'm saying that happy anniversary, and thank you so much for everything you're doing and being an inspiration for everyone. I think
thank you.
So many people said that, and I thank you for inviting me to be part of Center Stage, and it was just lovely.
Wouldn't have had it any other way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Tomer. Thank you.
Back
Hope to see you soon back at Center Stage.
Yeah.
Good job on the show, Tomer.
Definitely. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Bye, Miriam. Thank you so much.
Bye, Miriam.
Amy, I want to say one thing to you. Can I please say one thing to you?
Lydia was just, hang on, that was Miriam. Lydia, I know that you needed to say something. You wanted to say something?
I just wanted to,
I only want, go on, you say yours. I only want 2 words.
Go, Miriam. Go, Miriam.
I knew Grant, and then I met you. And I want to say one thing about you too. I can still hear in my head how much he wanted to get this theatre. You wanted to do something for yourselves. I remember that. And you were so determined, and it was just so wonderful when you came and told me that we've got a place for a theatre. And I want to wish you all muzzle. Always.
Thank you. Thank you so much, love.
It was a special
So
day.
appreciate it.
And you should be opening up soon.
We should.
Please, God. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
It's just wonderful. Every time I think of it, I think, he had another project, but we won't talk about that one. Golf, Minnie.
Lydia, so good to see you, love.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was working, so I only came on halfway through.
No, it's okay.
But wow,
Lovely to see you.
I'm not very good in speaking in public.
No way, Lydia.
But speaking in public is yeah. Anyway, so I wrote you a message, and I just want to say how dear you are in my heart, both of you.
Thank you. So are you, Lydia. We go back a long time, and
yeah. And
I love working with you. I love sharing the stage with you. You're a very special woman. So
we feel the vibes.
And we love you.
Yeah, and I just want to say that if there's anybody in the world that deserves success, whoops,
sex. I'd love some sex.
Okay.
I'd love some sex.
All right.
That was a good one.
Thanks, Lydia.
That's a really good one. And it's you guys. It's you guys. You deserve everything and the best of everything. And I just want to send you my biggest love and my hugs and kisses. And please, God, it'll be very, very soon before we can get together in the theatre.
Amen and amen and amen. Absolutely. I love you. Thank you so much, Lydia.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, love.